let's explore how IP addresses function within our instance. We have a public IPv4 address assigned, which enables us to SSH into our machine seamlessly. This public IP acts as the gateway for accessing our instance remotely. Once we're logged in, you'll notice that our instance has a corresponding private IP, which serves as the internal address of the machine. This private IP can be utilized while we are connected, but here's something crucial to understand. If we disconnect from our instance and attempt to SSH using the private IPv4 address alone, the connection will fail. Let's take a closer look at this. I'll go ahead and press enter now. As you can see, this effort does not succeed. The reason behind this is straightforward. Private IPv4 addresses are designed for use within a private network. At this moment, I am not connected to AWS's internal network. I am accessing it via the internet. Hence, using a private IP in this scenario won't work. Public IPs are essential here because they allow access to AWS resources over the public internet, which is why we need to rely on the public IP for access. Now, let's examine how our instance behaves when we start, stop, and restart it. First, I will initiate the process to stop our instance. It appears we might need to observe the IPv4 address for reference, so let's keep it handy on our screen. As we proceed, my instance has now stopped. I will now start the instance, which is a distinct action compared to simply rebooting it. It's important to stop and start to witness the potential changes in the public IPv4 address. We expect our instance will generate a new public IP address shortly after being started. And there we go. In just a few seconds, we received our new public IPv4. I'll go ahead and copy this new address for use. Indeed, as we can confirm on the console, these two IP addresses are different. If I attempt to SSH using the old public IP, it won't connect because the instance has acquired a new IP address. However, I can successfully SSH again using the updated IP. Notably, it's essential to recognize that while the public IP has changed, the private IP remains constant, as it does not need alteration under these circumstances. So, how can we effectively resolve this issue and ensure continued access? In some scenarios, we may need to stop and restart our instance, but it's crucial not to let our public IPv4 address change during that process. To achieve this, we utilize an elastic IP address. Currently, you might notice that there are no elastic IP addresses allocated in this section. To find elastic IPs, look to the left-hand side of your screen where you will see a dedicated option. Let's click on this option and open it in a new tab. Here, we will proceed to allocate a new IP address from Amazon's extensive pool of IPv4 addresses. By doing this, we effectively create an IPv4 address that we essentially own for the duration that we are renting it. This elastic IP can then be linked to a specific EC2 instance, meaning it will remain assigned to this instance as long as it is actively attached. Important pricing note. Now, it's important to discuss the cost associated with using IPv4 addresses. In AWS, whether you use a public IPv4 address or an elastic IP, you will incur an hourly fee of approximately $0.005 per hour, This translates to around $3.50 monthly, regardless of whether you actively use the public IPv4 address or not. Therefore, it's crucial to remember that you must terminate both your instances and any elastic IPs when they're no longer in use to avoid unnecessary charges. If you're following along and set up your account alongside me, you'll enjoy 750 hours of free public IPv4 usage each month. This means that as you create EC2 instances, it's vital to manage those instances wisely, ensuring you terminate them when they are not needed. This way, you can stay within the 750-hour monthly limit for IPv4 usage and avoid extra costs. To associate an elastic IP address, we can simply right-click, navigate to Actions, and select the option to associate an elastic IP address. Once we choose this option, we'll need to specify what resource we wish to attach it to. The choice here is between an instance or a network interface. In our case, we'll select the instance. Next, we'll also need to identify the private IP address to which we want to associate the elastic IP. After confirming the association, let's take a moment to observe the result. We will return to our EC2 instance and refresh the window to check the details. As you can see, the public IPv4 address now matches the value of our newly allocated elastic IP address, confirming that the association was successful. Now, if I scroll down and refresh the page completely, we can observe that the field for elastic IP addresses now displays a public address. This is an important feature in managing network configurations. By clicking on this elastic IP, we are directed straight to the Elastic IP Management Console within EC2, where we can delve deeper into details regarding this specific elastic IP. This is indeed a useful functionality. Let's test its effectiveness now. I will copy the displayed address and execute the SSH command. However, it's important to note that this command won't work with the previous IP. We need to utilize this new elastic IP instead. After entering the command, we can confirm that SSH access is successful. Now, let's explore what happens if we stop the instance. I will pause it now and take a closer look at the outcome. As anticipated, the instance transitions to a stop state, but it retains its public IPv4 address because it is still associated with the elastic IP. This illustrates the value of elastic IPs. They remain intact even when the instance is not running. When we start the instance again, it resumes operation, and we see that the elastic IP remains connected, meaning the public IPv4 address remains unchanged. To verify this, let's execute the SSH command once more. Yes, it works perfectly, just like before. To wrap things up, we can choose to disassociate this elastic IP from our instance. Additionally, it's crucial that we release the elastic IP address afterward to avoid incurring any unnecessary charges. Returning to our EC2 dashboard, if we refresh the view now, we notice that our instance has received a new public IPv4 address since it has been detached from the elastic IP. To conclude this practical demonstration, I will terminate my instance, and everything will be back in order, with the elastic IP now unassigned. That brings us to the end of this lecture. I hope you found this information helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next session.